This is my micro Urban Essentials kit, which I carry in my sling bag or work pack whenever I leave the house. And it's designed to solve problems and reduce friction in everyday life. Now, I update this kit every year. And so in this video, I'll explain what's new for 2023, what I've kept and what has gone. Now, for longer travels and adventures further afield, I have different kits which are larger and more in-depth and more activity focused. But this one is all about being small and lightweight, so you don't have to think twice about picking it up when you walk out the door. Now, the first change is the pouch itself, and previously I've used this Topo Designs micro pouch, and it's still a good option, and everything I'm going to show you will still fit in here, but it's very hard to get a hold of now. And I wanted to find something which offered better access without falling into the trap of getting something larger. This is the Volta battery case from Maxpedition, and that's a good start because it fits in with my other kits, which all happen to use Maxpedition pouches. Now, this one was originally designed to carry this, which comes with the pouch, and it's designed to hold up to 8 CR123 AA or AAA batteries. But if you remove the battery holder, this makes a great compact general purpose pouch. It has a Velcro fastening and opens fully to give good visibility of the contents, which are now easier to access. It's made from a tough 1000D coated nylon fabric, which gives more protection to the contents than the original Topo pouch. And this measures 5 inches by 1 inch by 3.5 inches, and so is about the same size as the Topo pouch. On the back, we also have some webbing, and so you can, if you want, attach this to another pack. As for the weight, this comes in at 36 grams or 1.27 ounces, which is just 12 grams or less than half an ounce heavier than the original Topo pouch, which is no problem considering the benefits of the Maxpedition. Okay, let's now have a look at the contents. And the first thing to know is that I've ditched the super glue. Now, I've been carrying a small tube of super glue in this kit for some time, and when it was finally needed, I found it had dried up. So I've lost confidence in the longevity or reliability of super glue, so I'm including this instead. And you might recognize this because I've carried it over from another of my kits, and it's a glue stick normally used in a hot glue gun. And you can melt this using a lighter, and this then creates liquid glue, and quite a lot if needed. It dries super quickly and it can glue wood, metal, plastic, paper, leather, fabric, ceramics and glass. And granted, this is a little bit fiddly and you need to be extra careful when using this method as you have a flame and hot glue to play with. But on the plus side, it's very lightweight, compact, and it won't go off like the super glue. So if the sole of your shoe suddenly comes away when you're out and about, you'll be glad you have this to get you home. And as always, if you want to know where to get any of the items shown in this video, I'll put links to as much as possible in the description down below. And that brings me nicely to this Bic Lighter, which I've carried over from the previous version of this kit. Useful for lighting a fire, of course, and I'm thinking more indoor wood burner in, say, an Airbnb than an outdoor campfire, as I have a different kit specifically for outdoor adventures. This, though, can be used for, say, sterilizing a needle for splinter removal and also for melting glue, as we've just seen. And as you'll see, I've put a tie wrap on here to avoid any gas release if the button is accidentally pressed when in the pouch. Now, I know from previous comments that some people prefer the clipper lighter because they are refillable and the flint can be removed and used separately to spark a fire. However, for this application where size and weight are key factors, I prefer the Bic as it is quite a bit smaller. I've kept the titanium meds tube, which holds a small amount of medication. Now, you have to be careful here if you choose to remove your meds from their packaging, so you know what they are and the dosage needed. So do be careful here and carry the meds information in the pouch if you're not sure. Now, bearing in mind that this kit is for problems that crop up during the day, for my use, I've kept the 500mg paracetamol tablets from the last kit for help with pain relief. And for this kit, I've also added a couple of allergy relief tablets as hay fever can really catch me out. And finally, I've got an Imodium tablet in here, hopefully to stop diarrhea in its tracks. Now, pain relief and allergic reaction and diarrhea are all likely to need immediate attention, which is why I carry these specific meds in the kit. And the titanium tube is lightweight and stops them from getting contaminated or crushed. A new addition to the kit is this heat shrink tubing for use with the lighter. And as you might have guessed, this tubing shrinks when exposed to heat. And this can be used for a variety of applications, such as to protect exposed wiring or prevent a damaged USB cable from getting worse, or as a temporary fix for broken glasses and lots of other applications. And as it happens, this fits nicely around this meds tube, which means there's no real impact on weight or bulk. The Victorinox Manager is still in this kit as I haven't found a better alternative. And just to recap, we have here a small knife, super useful scissors, a combination tool with a bottle opener and small Phillips screwdriver, and a very effective nail file with a small flathead screwdriver. Then we also have a couple more tools built into this knife. We have these tweezers, really useful for pulling out splinters, and we also have here a pen, and this uses a pressurized replaceable refill, which means it will write at strange angles if needed. And a pen is obviously a handy thing to have in this kit, and whilst it might look a little small and therefore awkward to use, if you open up the combination tool like this, you suddenly have a pen that is really comfortable and easy to write with. The power bank is probably the most important element in this kit, because if your phone dies unexpectedly when you're out and about, you can find yourself with a real problem, particularly if you can't phone home to tell your nearest and dearest that you've just been thrown off the train because you couldn't show them your ticket. And of course, you've no idea where you are because you don't have access to Google Maps anymore. You get the general idea. This is the power bank from last year's kit, and it's still a good option, except they don't seem to make it anymore. So I've been on the lookout for an alternative, and I have found this. The good thing here is that this is very flat at just 5.5 millimeters thick, and that is less than 1/4 of an inch. And that makes it ideal for this kit when it comes to keeping everything compact. It is also charged via USB-C, which is a must in my book these days. And because this is a bi-directional port, it can also be used for charging other devices. We have a battery level indication here at the touch of a button, which is very useful. And the battery capacity is 3,500 milliamp hour, which should give most phones at least well over half a charge, even allowing for losses. Then we also have a built-in plug, and in my case I've got a lightning connector here for my iPhone, but I see there's also a USB-C option too for Android. The quality seems pretty good here, with the battery contained in what appears to be aluminium, and it weighs in at a modest 95 grams or 3.35 ounces. This one is TNTOR, TNTOR branded, although I expect you might find this under other brand names too, coming out of the same factory. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be available everywhere though, and I can't find a leading worldwide brand offering a product like this. So I'll link to this one in the description, but if it's not available in your area, you might have to do a little bit of searching to find something similar. Just to make you aware though, in my shopping around, I did find some options that were slightly smaller and lighter, but they all had micro USB charging, which is a deal breaker for me these days. There is always a torch or flashlight in my kits, and not just for nighttime use, but also for finding stuff in poor light and dark spaces. And my first choice would still be the Rovyvon A8, recently updated to generation 4 with a great new recessed metal switch and lockout mode. Now, I've talked a lot about this light and you'll find more information elsewhere on the channel, but just to recap, we have a 650 lumen beam, which is crazily bright for a light light of this size and 4 brightness levels, the lowest of which is half a lumen, and that will last for 72 hours on a single charge. It has a 2-level ambient white side light to fill a room and a very bright red side light to preserve night vision, and with flashing modes makes a great safety or warning light or backup bike light. The A8 also has a UV side light, less useful, but it can help check for dodgy banknotes as well as body fluids and scorpions. Now, if all that sounds a bit much, or like me, you already carry an A8 in your pocket every day, then a more basic option would be fine too. And my choice would be the Lumintop EDC01, and very affordable at a quarter of the price of the A8, and also very easy to use. Just twist on and off to go through 3 different light levels, which are 5 lumen, 32 and 120. And the twist switch means there's no danger of it coming on accidentally in the pouch. There is a benefit with this light too, and that is that it uses a single AAA battery, so nothing to charge, and these batteries are readily available almost everywhere. Leaving your charging cable or cables behind is easy to do and can create problems on the go, so I always think it's worth having a backup option in this kit. And for this kit I'm switching to this. This is the InCharge X and is effectively 6 cables in one very compact gadget. At one end we have USB-A and C, and at the other end we have Lightning USB-C, and then the Lightning connector doubles up as a micro USB connector. So 6 options in total, and this cable is also capable of fast charging and fast data transfer if needed. And of course this could be used to charge the power bank if there was access to USB-A or USB-C power, and this could also be used to charge the Rovyvon from the power bank if needed. The cable is tough. In fact, this is designed to go on a keyring, and it's held together with magnets, and this cap keeps everything together and the dust out. Now, I wouldn't rely on something like this for general use, not least because the cable here is obviously very short, but for emergency use this is ideal. Now, this is no first aid kit, but it is worth thinking about what you might need if you say get a small cut. So I've included some band-aids or plasters in here, and also an antiseptic wipe to help keep everything clean. And you will see I use these soft, flexible credit card size wallets to group various bits of kit, and that is to enable quick and easy access. Otherwise, finding things in here would be a bit of a nightmare. Next, I've taken the notebook out of the kit and instead simply included pieces of paper, and this is to reduce bulk as this is for emergency note taking only, so a full notebook is not really required. It's also a good idea to have a piece of paper in here which contains your emergency contact numbers, and this can become vital if you lose your phone, as most of us these days keep our numbers on our phone and not in our heads. I've also put a single note of cash in here, and if you lose your wallet, this could really save the day. This one is carried over from last year and contains here a needle and thread, and no explanation needed there. We also have here 3 zip ties, always useful, and I've cut them down to fit in this plastic sleeve. And then here we also have 2 strips of self-amalgamating tape. Now, this tape stretches a lot and then amalgamates or melds with itself, effectively making a rubber seal, and that's a great temporary fix for something like a leaking pipe. And then when it comes to tape, let's not forget duct tape, or in this case Gorilla Tape, for fastening and repairs on the go. And for this kit I put the tape on a blank plastic card, and you can buy these cheaply, or you could use an old credit card. And I've found this is better than wrapping the tape around itself, as the size works better with this kit, and I've also found the tape comes off a little bit more easily too. And just 1 layer on either side is plenty enough for most emergency use and avoids bulk, but feel free to add more if needed. Cord is always useful to have with you, and this micro cord here is carried over from last year, and this is strong with a 100-pound breaking strain, but it's also lightweight and not bulky, so ideal for the kit. I've also included a couple of safety pins in here based on previous feedback in the comments. Next we have these, which feature in most of my kits, and these are thin optics and what I will turn to if I lose my glasses. They will allow me to see and use my phone and to be able to read in general, and without them I would be really struggling. These are available in several reading strengths, and as you can see they are flat and fold up very small. Now they do come with a case, but this credit card sleeve is much thinner, which is what I need for this kit. I've also continued to include this powerful magnet, primarily to come to the rescue if I drop my keys into a hard to reach place or down a drain even, in which case I'm hoping I can fish them out using this and the micro cord. Now, I've never needed this yet, but I'd hate not to have this with me if I ever do. I've also included this antibacterial hand wipe, and I've got a full box of these, and they're really good for hand wipes or for surface wipes killing bacteria and viruses, and particularly good for wiping your hands if you're about to tuck into a sandwich, say, and you've not had a chance to wash your hands. And I've also dropped in a couple of decent elastic bands, which several people suggested in the comments. When it comes to the things I've not included this year, I've removed the Fresnel magnifier as I've realised my phone actually does a better job, and also the tick remover and aqua tabs, which are probably overkill here, so they've gone for this kit, but they can still be found in my outdoors kit. So that's it. Let's see how this all fits back in the pouch. Incidentally, the total weight of this pack is 280 grams, which is just over 10 ounces. And as you can see, everything fits in here really well. And if that's been useful and you'd like to see some more of my kit videos, then just click on this link here. That's it for this one. Thank you as always for watching, and I hope you can join me in the next one.